Of the many things that Father John has said to me over the years, that have stuck with me in sort of a profound way, um, is this. He said, nothing can happen unless we imagine it first. Or, of course, dream it first. I think, given John's amazing use of words and his expansive mind and heart, imagination has all kinds of possibilities for each of us in how we want to define that. Nothing can happen unless we can imagine it first or dream it first. And some even say that dreaming is required to hear the music of heaven. And of course, dreaming and faith are connected. Dreaming allows us to imagine something beyond the world and our lives as they are today. Another thing that John had said that has always continued to blow me away is his very succinct description of faith. And that is that faith enables a vision broader than this moment in time. And I think we could say the same is true for hope and certainly for love. The promises of God, we heard about them throughout all of Advent. And of course, maybe they're beautifully summed up in our first reading today from Isaiah. He describes a world where the yoke of slavery is smashed, where the implements of war are destroyed, and where there is a rule of peace and justice. And of course, the world that Isaiah is describing is not our world today, but it is the world that God continues to promise us. And if we're going to continue to believe in God's promises, we're going to have to hear the words of Isaiah as something more than just pious poetry. We must be able to imagine something new, something different from our present situation. And again, dreaming, imagination is necessary. I hear a lot from people that, things are never going to change. People are greedy. Justice will never fully be known in our lifetimes. And I find that really disempowering, especially as it relates to sort of this enabling a vision broader than this moment in time, because that's what Christmas is all about. That's what God gave us in Jesus. Our lives are not sad. We all have difficulties that we struggle with. It could be in our families, it could be in our relationships, it could be in healing our bodies. But I know that if we are able to make such progress, it will be because we can imagine a new way of listening, a new way of forgiving, maybe, a new way of acting with serenity, really a new way of loving. When I also spoke last time about all of us growing older and all those fears that we have, how can we actually garner what energy we have left to be able to live the rest of our lives positively and joyfully, even enthusiastically. And again, I offer to you, friends, that it's only if we can imagine ourselves as still loving, still giving, still sharing, still courageous, still wise, even as maybe our physical bodies continue to fade. Contrary to so much of what we see around us regarding Christmas and even some Christmas cards and those Christmas specials that have been on TV, I can't believe how many of them there are. The birth of Jesus is not primarily about innocence or even the love of a mother and child. The birth of Jesus is a blast of hope that is meant to energize our dreams. God became one of us. God took flesh in Mary's womb. What can't we imagine for those two things having already taken place then? The birth of Jesus, even though we celebrate it every year, it's meant to shake us up. It's meant to wake us up from the deep sleep that at times paralyzes us, that at times blinds us of all the potential, but more importantly, of all the promise that we are given, not just because God is with us, but because we continually sing and meditate and take in these words of Isaiah and other prophets, and yes, one another, whose lives encourage us, whose lives inspire us, and whose lives bring us hope.